We are TV Station of the Year, not just for breaking news, but for being first, fair and accurate. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Hello and welcome to Marketing Edge on TV, Nigeria's leading initiative in the business of brand management and the management of brand business. It is a 30-minute potpourri of brand news, branding focus, industry conversation, all aimed at promoting the brand idea. My name is Dele Agadumo.
It's insightful, it's exciting, it's enriching. It's Marketing Edge on TV, a half-hour TV show on the business of brand management and the management of brand business. Marketing Edge on TV is a potpourri of juicy and exclusive industry news on brands, advertising, media, PR, branding focus, industry conversation, and the entire gamut of integrated marketing communications business. It's a business show with glamour and grandeur. We serve you hot and sizzling with all ingredients in the mix. Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand ideal.
Welcome to Brand News on Marketing Edge on TV. The Media Independent Practitioners Association of Nigeria, MIPAN, has held its 2021 Business Outlook with the theme, Challenges and Growth Opportunities Amidst COVID-19. The event, which held at the Radisson Blu Hotel, Ikeja, Lagos, had members of the MIPAN Exco, speakers, panelists, digital crew, and the press in attendance, with COVID-19 guidelines duly observed. The meeting reached a consensus that the advertising industry is having its share of the effect of COVID-19 as digital marketing is taking over media agencies, noting that major clients are either joining the trend of digital marketing or going out of business because of the effect of the pandemic on the global economy. MIPAN President Mr. FEMI ADELUSI, while giving the opening remark, pointed out that 2020 was challenging for the association, other sectoral bodies in Nigeria and the world in general. Poised to radically and strategically position for continued market leadership and dominance, Marketing Edge, Nigeria's leading marketing and advertising publication, has concluded plans to hold a one-day intensive fireside conversation with notable practitioners in the integrated marketing communications industry as discussants and panelists. The conversation themed Strategic Positioning in a Competitive Marketing Environment, Challenges and Opportunities for Media Products in the Age of New Normal holds Friday, 5th February 2021 at the conference room of Protea Hotel, Alausa, Ikeja, between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. The roundtable discussion, second in the series, is coming at a critical period of re-engineering and restructuring at the foremost publication outfit. The conversation heralds a promising year that has started with exploits and successes in the business of its media publications and PR subsidiary, Media Edge. Leading the conversation on varieties of industry-related issues and topics are Messrs. Tunji Adeyinka, Group Managing Director, Republicom Group; Dolapo Ogunbambo, Associate Director, Strategy and Innovation, Starcoms Media Perspectives; Chris Ogunlowo, Creative Director, SONU; Lekon Otufodunri, MD Media Career Development Network; and Ozone Mbanefo, Managing Director, CEO, O2 Academy. And that was brand news on Marketing Edge on TV. Coming up next is Branding Focus.
This is a public service announcement on your National Identification Number, NIN. First, dial *346# to get your NIN and write it down. This will enable you link your NIN to all your numbers easily. You can now use any of these 4 ways to link your NIN to all your MTN lines. 1. Dial *785*NIN#. 2. Visit My MTN app. 3. Visit www.nin.mtnonline.com. 4. Text your NIN number to 785. Remember, this includes your data SIMs and other alternate lines. For those without NIN, visit the NIMSI website to find a registration location. Avoid disconnection. Link your NIN to all your MTN lines before 9th February 2021.
Welcome to Branding Focus on Marketing Edge on TV. In contemporary times, nation branding has become a big business, while its advocates see their line of work as psychological, beyond mere sloganeering. Simply put, every nation has the task of looking inward, discovering and finding its place in the world. In other words, beyond coining a tagline or producing a suite of logos, nation branding experts go for deeper meanings. They believe they can fix upon and excavate a place's very identity, or at least an identity, something that can guide a government in figuring out how to rise in the esteem of its neighbors and citizens, how to allocate its resources, how best to position the face it presents to the world. Branding goes beyond just names, marks, and labels. It captures relationships, experiences, and states of mind. Perhaps that informed what David Ogilvy, the father of advertising, meant when he defined the brand as the intangible sum of a product's attributes. The above truism also applies to the brand management of nations. For nation brands, the brand identity of a country goes beyond just the name and geographically defined territory, a prerequisite of a state. A nation brand consists of all structures, substructures, and infrastructure put in place to enhance the brand's equity and essence. For the Nigerian state, efforts at branding and rebranding the nation by successive administrations, especially in the last 2 decades, have not been quite successful. The country's public space and discourse have been replete with rebranding initiatives since the Murtala Mohammed Olusegun Obasanjo military government of 1975 to 1979. Shortly after the Shehu Shagari-led civilian interlude, the Muhammadu Buhari and Tunde Idiagbon regime of 1983 to 1985 launched the War Against Indiscipline Y campaign. This was followed by the MAMSA and Not in Our Character initiatives, promoted by the Ibrahim Babangida and Sani Abacha dictatorships, respectively, of 1985 to 1998. While the several campaigns during the military era focused on portraying Nigeria as a political giant in the continent and the need for its citizens to embrace national ethos and values, successive administrations from the regime of President Olusegun Obasanjo, 1999 to 2007, Umar Musa Yar'Adua, 2007 to 2010, Goodluck Jonathan, 2010 to 2015, Muhammadu Buhari, 2015 till date, focused on changing the national psyche and enhancing tourism and attracting foreign direct investment through several image laundering campaigns. Many of these interventions were either short-lived due to military interventions or the sincerity of the government in power to see the campaigns through. The return to civil rule, however, witnessed a revamping of image laundering in the country, as exemplified by the Heart of Africa and image rebranding policies of the Obasanjo and Yar'Adua administrations, respectively. The Yar'Adua image rebranding project was the most comprehensive and expensive nation branding initiative yet. It had the motto, Nigeria, Good People, Great Nation, and was aimed at accelerating Nigeria's development through foreign investment and tourism. The campaign was meant to further reinforce the administration's campaign against corruption and unwholesome practices. In recent times, there were the Change Begins With Me and Not in My Country campaigns during the present administration. In spite of the vigorous campaigns and huge investments on these projects, why did they fail to achieve and deliver on expected outcomes by the branding initiators and promoters? These are posers that beg for serious introspection by policymakers. Be that as it may, the failure of past rebranding efforts by the federal government of Nigeria is as a result of government's failure to get the buy-in of the mass of the people into their policies and programs. To initiate a rebranding effort, the people must connect with the idea. The initiative must resonate with the people and, as such, enjoy an emotional connection with the idea. The challenge is even more hectic when the nation being rebranded is of multi-ethnic conglomeration. Rebranding a multi-ethnic society poses a more Herculean task, especially in the face of multicultural values and ethos, as well as religious beliefs and social relations. The important lesson to learn here is that future efforts of government at rebranding the nation must take cognizance of these peculiarities and contractions.
That was Branding Focus on Marketing Edge on TV. Coming up next is Industry Conversation.
Dear customer, link your Airtel number to your national identification number today. Here are easy ways you can do it. Dial *121*1# on your Airtel line and follow the prompts on the screen. Type in your 11-digit government-approved NIN number. You will receive a confirmation message to confirm your entry. You can also visit www.airtel.com.ng/NIN to link your phone number to your NIN. If you do not know your NIN, simply dial *346# to get it. No stress, no wahala.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
As an agency owner, what would be your indices and parameters for the outlook for the year 2021? What are you looking forward to?
I think for me as an agency owner, I need to begin to think about diversification. How do I broaden my clientele base? How do I play in certain sectors of the economy that are more likely to grow or at least be stable in this season than others? So you need to begin to have a broader. So rather than while it might be great to have a client that does 3 billion, maybe you then need to also think about, even if you have 5 clients that do just 200 million, for example, but are in different sectors that are very stable, or like one big client that is in a very, very in a sector that can be very susceptible in the. So, for example, if you work in the alcoholic beverage sector, for example, and because there is lockdown in bars and restaurants and hotels and tourism and such, such occasions, even weddings now are coming down from 1,000 guests to 200 or 300 guests. Yes. And all of that, and these all have implications on consumption. So you then need to begin to think about clients that, while you need to still support your client and come up with ideas that allow you to still engage and push your brand and win in the market. But you also need to, as a business owner, begin to think broadly in terms of where else do I need to play as a business, okay? And how do I approach what kind of ideas do I now need to bring forward to the clients who are in these difficult sectors or categories that will allow us to win in the marketplace.
So would that describe how you foresee opportunities that you would probably take in 2021?
I think in 2021 we need to be more creative and innovative like never before in terms of ideas, in terms of executions. I think creativity needs to be primary in the way that we approach our briefs, in the way that we approach our executions for 2021. And perhaps also as business owners, it shouldn't always also be about turnovers and billings. It's also around how do I deliver value to the client at the end of the day in a way that their business remains sustainable. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a variant of COVID-19 out right now, and so we're already foreseeing a lot of lockdowns, and so what would you say are the possible landmines in terms of on the marketing advertising industry for the year 2021?
Well, first of all, I think, again, it's unfortunate that, we're all hoping that as we come into the new year, we will be saying bye-bye, in some ways to COVID. But the reality is, is with us. We can only hope for the best. I think the good news is, well, there's a vaccine, or there are vaccines now from America, from Europe, and from Asia as well. So the future, again, more than anything, is giving some form of hope. Even though for Africa, for Nigeria, we don't know, we can't tell at what point and in what kind of numbers would we have access to the vaccine. But it gives a bit of hope. Hopefully, maybe some months down the line, the tourism or travel industry might begin to pick up a little bit more than maybe some periods in 2020. And some sectors as well can begin to, because of this. But when we look at the numbers at the moment, it's still very tough, particularly when you look at Europe, when you look at America, when you look at the UK, and a few countries in Europe at the moment. So it's very tough. But for 2021, we just need to stay optimistic. We need to find those sweet spots in terms of sectors in which we need to play. We need to change our business formulas in terms of, I think for media agencies, turnover and billings used to be a big part of our business. I think for today, we need to begin to reconsider that. Should it be more around margins? Should it be more around driving costs down, driving better efficiency in our business operations, leveraging technology a little bit more, and things like that. I think that's the way we need to approach our 2021.
So right now, how would you say media independent practitioners are tackling the current low business volume in view of the national economy and, of course, the current pandemic?
In some instances, some of our agencies are having to relook the structure in terms of people, in terms of roles. Again, this does not always mean you need to retrench or cut, your staff strength. It could be in terms of what kind of areas or units do you need to invest. Okay, what kind of, so for example, digital is one area that will continue to grow, that is envisaged to grow and will continue to grow. So the question is, do we have the right team, right? So in the agencies, are the right teams there? Do we have the right kind of structure? And then do we have the right capabilities in this sector that prepares you? And what are you offering as an agency to the client? So, for example, a typical media independent agency would have a planning unit, a buying unit, maybe a monitoring and control unit. But today, digital is playing a big role, and you see numbers growing in the digital units. And then beyond just advertising, buying online, for example, you have to think about, what kind of skill. Are you developing your people or resourcing people who are able to do things like animations, whether 2D, 3D, develop, specific tools, analytical tools, evaluation tools that allow you to do your job a lot better. Are you also able to monitor, are you able to measure performance even when your staff, a good number of staff are working from home or working remotely? How do you still ensure that they deliver on time and meet the goals and the objectives that's been set? So, so it's really taking a total look on this in the structure of a typical agency to say that do we need to change? Where do we need to invest from a training and capacity building standpoint? And where do we need to reduce in terms of these areas? So what you will see in the top, in the leading agencies, that the structures are beginning to evolve in response to the world that we live in today. Okay.
As president of MIPAN, how would you describe the total media billing of MIPAN members for the year 2020?
I think, we haven't seen the final numbers in terms of billing for 2021. For 2020 is yet to be published. We're looking forward to that. But I think without seeing the data, it's clear that the numbers dropped significantly. Out of home, for example, was a big part of, responsible for the drop because of the lockdown. Event industry also experienced a lot of a drop in budget as well, because a lot of tourist centers were impacted. A lot of social gathering were cut. Hotels and tourism sectors experienced a big decline. Shut down event centers and things like that. Because also most of our campaigns are integrated, so everything is impacted one way or the other. But of course, there were areas where we experienced a bit of growth, even traditional, for example, TV, and also digital continues to grow in double digits. Grew in double digits for 2020. But when you think about the level of investment in digital versus your traditional media, it is still, while it is growing, it's fast growing, but the volumes are still low compared to your traditional media. So the impact of that is that total advertising spend decreased in 2020, but I don't have the specific numbers at the moment. We believe 2021 will be better, but we might not get to the 2019 numbers. So, so there will be some acceleration or some increases, but certainly we will not be in the numbers that we were like 2-3 years before now.
Okay. All right, then it's still industry conversation on Marketing Edge on TV, and we're still speaking with FEMI ADELUSI. He is the president of the Media Independent Practitioners Association of Nigeria, MIPAN. And now, the world is in the second wave of COVID-19. How would you then describe the current impact of this lockdown on the industry, media industry right now? Looking at the fact that this is still January,
yes,
and a lot has started happening already, the numbers are increasing. But what's the impact? How would you describe the impact so far?
No, I think we're yet to see the immediate impact on advertising investment, because typically, except for a few multinational businesses, the first quarter actually normally would have a slow start. January. So campaigns begin to really hit the airwaves at about February. in most, even in the normal times, because of the planning cycles. Except, like I said, for a few multinationals who actually kick off the year early, but most times the quarter one begins from February or sometimes even March. So the impact in terms of advertising investment right now, if we compare the numbers, if we were to look at the numbers versus last year or even 2019, I don't think there will be a significant difference when I'm talking about quarter one now at this point. But at the end of Q1, I would expect that it will still be lower. It will still be lower than quarter one of last year, because the pandemic in 2020 started at about from March. The impact is the cuts. So, and I know a lot of businesses came into this year with some form of caution, particularly with the spike in numbers from end of last year into early this year. So the numbers won't be. I don't think it's going to be an increase over what we had in the previous year. So there's still a lot of caution out there. But I do believe, I want to believe that this will change from quarter two. We will definitely see an increase in investment because there's a lot of innovative thinking and creative thinking across the businesses that we work on. And I do believe that this is also the same across many other clients. How do we engage our consumers and trade in a way that is safe, using the right kinds of channel that will drive the business performance as well. So the approach might differ, but I think it will still be progressive.
It's insightful, it's exciting, it's enriching. It's Marketing Edge on TV, a half-hour TV show on the business of brand management and the management of brand business. Marketing Edge on TV is a potpourri of juicy and exclusive industry news on brands, advertising, media, PR, branding focused, industry conversation, and the entire gamut of integrated marketing communications business. It's a business show with glamour and grandeur. We serve you hot and sizzling with all ingredients in the mix. Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand ideal.
Well, that has been our package this week on Marketing Edge on TV, and we sure hope that you have enjoyed the package. Be sure to join us again next week for another edition of the program. Thank you for watching. My name is Dele Agadumo.
Smartphone Network.
Voted as the best TV station of the year. TVC News breaks into the core of every event as they happen, following all nationwide big and impactful stories. Without the news from every perspective, covering every human angle. I am Veronica, bringing you the news you would want to watch.
Driven by technology and competence, the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, is fast changing the business environment through various reforms initiatives. Do you know that today you can register your business name, limited liability company, NGO, as well as other registration services online directly without an agent? Do you know that CAC certificate now comes with automatic FIRS TIN number? For these and more innovations, keep a date with us on CAC Weekly every